Now it's time for the best of the bunch. This week's Best of the Bunch is certainly a movie I had seen before when it was originally out in the theaters, and a movie that I enjoyed at that time, but I think that I undervalued it and that I continue to do so. And that movie is Lincoln. This is Steven Spielberg's big-budget movie about Lincoln during the waning days of the American Civil War, featuring an absolutely tremendous performance from Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln. Now, we've talked about DDL on the show before, and he is possibly his generation's greatest actor. He is certainly an actor who, unlike a lot of actors, really disappears into his part. We talked on the show not that long ago about Phantom Thread, and looking at the character he played, Reynolds Woodcock, the character he plays in Phantom Thread, and then looking at Abraham Lincoln and looking at other characters like Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York, it is almost unfathomable that this is the same actor. Especially when you look at something like Gangs of New York, where Daniel Day-Lewis is playing this very broad and violent character. To watch him play Lincoln as this, sort of shy and understated person it's a little bit of magic. Like I say, I think I've underrated this movie a bit in the past, and I'm not sure why. I think in a lot of ways it confounded my expectations. It's interesting that the movie is called Lincoln, and yet it's a movie that focuses on a very particular and short window of time in America, and a particular event, not even really the Civil War, but the attempts by Lincoln and his like-minded Republican senators to pass the amendment declaring emancipation for the slaves. And it's all about that. It's all about rounding up the votes. That's what this movie is about. Whereas a movie called Lincoln, I think, makes you think that it's going to be a movie that's all about Abe Lincoln and his life. This is a movie wherein Lincoln is arguably the main character, but hardly the only character. As the movie also spends a good amount of time with Mary Todd Lincoln, with their son Robert Todd Lincoln, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's a dude who just wants to go to war. But Abe won't let him go because they already lost one son and another would maybe destroy poor old Mary Todd. I hear Mary Todd a-calling. Anyway, it also focuses on David Strahan as a guy, I forget what his job is exactly, who's trying to whip up the votes in the Senate, as well as this group of sort of ne'er-do-wells that he recruits to do the dirty work of convincing the senators to make the vote. It is a stirring and inspiring movie that really impressively captures a moment in history. The production design is second to none. The sets and the costumes, you feel like you're there and you get a real sense of what Washington must have been like at that time. And in that same vein where I really like courtroom dramas, these movies about sort of political machinations also really get me going. In a weird and stupid way, I guess I would have maybe liked this movie originally more if it had a different title. I do continue to think that Lincoln is maybe a little bit of a misleading title. Maybe a title like Emancipation or something would have been more suited to, like I say, this very specific moment in the career of one of our greatest presidents. Still, watching it this time, I really came around to just how tremendous a piece of filmmaking this is. Lincoln, 4.5 stars. And don't forget to visit our website, northmetrotv.com/everymovieever. There, you can watch reviews of every movie we've ever covered here on the show, as well as complete episodes. That's northmetrotv.com/everymovieever.